I think building a company here in Seattle over the last 10 years has made us realize that the answer to the second question is yes. I mean, in many ways, I think Seattle is the promised land in startup America. I really do. I have nothing but good things to say about it. The one thing you kind of miss is a startup culture to the city, right? I mean, that's the thing for those who've been in the Bay Area. I mean, the thing that's funny about the Bay Area, which is really cool, is that like everyone is either working for or at some point planning to join that crazy disruptive thing over here. It's woven into the fabric of living down there. I mean, you go to a coffee shop and everyone's talking about what tech startup they work for. And I think it's really important for young, missionary-driven entrepreneurs to avoid venture capital as long as they can, and if you can. Now, if your idea is to create some new kind of chip and you need a fab plant, okay, that's not going to work out, right? But if you have software or media or something that could be bootstrapped, for the love of God, bootstrap, as long as you can. And there's a bunch of reasons. BS, you can't cut your expenses. And I'm kind of unforgiving on this, you know? Don't be a prima donna, right? If you really are committed to being an entrepreneur, go make the sacrifices right now so that you're ready to do it. And your venture may or may not work out, But most entrepreneurs are driven because they literally have this deep down need to go take a shot at something they believe in. And so that preparation phase makes the year or two you have to bootstrap a lot easier, literally just from a pure financial perspective. So I read these articles, you'll go online, you'll startup whatever XYZ has raised $80 million or even $20 million, and they have no product and they have virtually, it's just like, that just culturally, in fact I saw this firsthand when I was in DC, that destroys startup cultures. And you know what? You can't fix it. Because if you're onto something really good, why do you have to keep pivoting and expanding and doing new things, right? I'm telling this story because it happened to me recently, but the more I digested what he was saying, I'm like, that's true. You're onto something big, right? Where you don't feel like you have to constantly re-rationalize and re-pivot to be able to add some incremental value. Find something that works and scale it big as fast as you can, right? And that's after I founded Tableau, YouTube was founded. Zing, Groupon, Zing, Zynga, Zing, Facebook, ever heard of it? I mean, just these startup supernovas were all founded after we started Tableau. Now you see these things, I don't know whether this happens to you guys, you see these things explode, right? And on the one hand, you're totally inspired, right? As just an entrepreneur, you're like, oh my gosh, get on ya, right? I'm so good for you guys, that's so great. But of course, on the other hand, you're just so frustrated. I think looking back, that ignore that stuff. It's like ignoring the memes that come and go. It's like, that's 0.1% of startups. The vast majority of more modest startups like ours and probably most of yours are going to be really successful, but over longer periods of time. And in fact, you may end up Tableau may end up more successful than some of these things that may or may not be around, like some of the names I mentioned, but we'll see about that. But in any case, just be patient. I mean, right now we're experiencing some success, but I'm reminded of that old Hollywood saying who's been attributed to, I don't know, Liza Minnelli or something, but I've worked my whole life to become an overnight success. That people at Tableau can relate to that. So people are trying to learn. I think my biggest piece of advice would be you have to, I don't care what you do, but find something where you get that. Because that, working towards something you believe in, with people you sincerely respect. Probably everyone here like me has tasted having it and tasted not having it, right? And boy, once you taste it, you don't ever go back. Don't ever go back. Changes your life. So I don't know, I'll stick with one.
Christian Chabot, CEO of Tableau Software. Thank you so much.
The number one thing that resonated with me was that it's a bootstrapped company. We're bootstrapped, I understand that. I thought that some of the stories that he had to share about what it's like running a bootstrap company versus a company that gets a windfall amount of money and how that changes their culture. And I think the things he had to say were really topical.
I think it was fantastic. I think Christian did a great job speaking simple English. I'm not a big tech guy, and it was nice because I really understood everything he said. I really enjoyed the history about Tableau software and really the future, and it's just a dynamic speaker, a great leader, and somebody I definitely love to work for.
I will pretty much go anywhere to hear Christian speak because I think he's so valuable to the Seattle community, and I think he has such great advice for entrepreneurs, so it was awesome.
Christian was so down to earth and shared a lot of good facts, and I can see why they have such a great culture at Tableau.
And Christian Chabot, I mean, I think my thumbs are, do you see the smoke coming off my thumbs from tweeting all the fabulous things that he said? I mean, it's really inspiring to be around entrepreneurs that have a vision and a message and have been around for 10 years and have some insights. So it's been a really amazing event.